Hey everybody, and welcome to the podcast. Last week, I was joined by Meghan Doyle, and we were discussing Moana. And after that podcast episode was finished being edited and uploaded, I realized there was a whole lot of that conversation that was left on the cutting room floor. And some of it was interesting, some of it was funny, some of it was downright pointless. And I just thought that some of you might get a kick out of it. So without further ado, here are the outtakes from last week's episode, Is Moana in Hell?
Welcome to Frog Question Friday.
Don't. That's going to be so gross. I told you not to. It was just syrup. It's mostly syrup.
It's like a Jolly Rancher, but
I'm going to try. I have to try it.
oh, it's so sweet. Oh. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Man, it looks so cool.
It's like liquid.
It is. It's like a melted Jolly Rancher.
Like it's a hot day and you left the Jolly Rancher outside and then you slurped it.
And then you were just like, let me.
You slurped it
gnaw it
and
off
put
this
it
pavement.
into a thing. Okay, what does this one taste like? Oh wow, I feel like I could be a bartender.
I'm actually a professional now.
Coconut glasses.
Actually, sorry, this is a brief aside, but
cool.
it's really necessary. I went to the Dollar Tree today, and everyone shops at the Dollar Tree, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But can you explain why every time I've been to the Dollar Tree, I feel like I'm the only semi-normal person there? Everyone in the Dollar Tree was
Maybe at 11 a.m. on a
very
work day.
strange. Well, it was very early.
I think it has to do with
It
your
was
timing,
very
probably.
early on a work
Because if
day.
you go like 5
So
o'clock
maybe that's what
or
it
4
was.
o'clock in the afternoon, people are there.
There was a woman in the aisle where I actually got these straws. I came around the corner of the aisle, and she looked up and saw me, and I was dressed like this. So I was wearing just normal
Just
clothes,
jeans.
like a polo and jeans.
Yeah.
And she just like looked me up and down and then like ran away. She was like clutching her purse, running. Like,
You're intimidating. She thought you were going to steal from.
no, it wasn't. I didn't.
That's funny.
I don't feel like I was giving off that vibe, but okay.
Okay, anyway.
Anyway, yeah, I found these straws. I really wanted to get the little umbrellas because I
next
thought
time.
that one would why umbrellas go with a tropical theme? I'll never really understand. It's
Like beach umbrellas.
But they don't. Moana didn't have an umbrella.
No,
Don't
she
have
didn't.
umbrellas.
She did have a flower in her hair, which I also have right now.
Flower makes more sense.
So maybe it's, I don't know.
Well, it's like this sort of like rules.
Yeah.
Like it's reward,
told this is
punishment,
bad.
and then it's
Yeah.
like, well, I know that I'm not supposed to do this, but the concept of bad hasn't really,
Right.
Yeah.
So Descartes really isn't bad, and she becomes Te-Fiti
get
again.
that. Actually, so here's a question.
Yeah.
What was Taka's goal? Was she just trying to get the stone that whole time?
Maybe. Oh, maybe.
Like, okay,
She's, like, defensive.
So this whole time that we're trying to get to the
Stay
inner
out.
island,
Yeah.
and she's like attacking, is that all just like, you have the stone, give me the stone? And if they had just sailed right up and given it to her, the whole thing
maybe.
would have been fixed. And like this whole like let's get
that's a
past
good
her thing
point.
was
I
just
didn't
like,
think about
'cause
that.
the whole goal
It's a
was like,
misunderstanding, that's what it is.
let's stay away from her
Yeah.
and try to get by without. And
Because
she's
they didn't know that that's who it was. They didn't know that that was Te-Fiti, right?
So they don't know, and
Descartes
she's
is
for
trying
some
to get
reason
it.
can't
Oh,
talk.
she's misunderstood.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe this whole time it was just
She's like the only character that can't talk, actually. Think about that.
which is odd. Even the ocean
I know.
can like shake
kind
its
of.
can nod and shake its head and like grab things.
And then like Te-Fiti at the end just like grows grass and like
yeah, actually even
doesn't really-
Te-Fiti
doesn't
isn't
talk.
really that great of a communicator.
Weird Mother Nature.
That's odd.
Anyway,
But like when
yeah.
when like Moana's sailing through that little niche in the rock and she's like grabbing at her, like is that all just like give me
Yeah,
my
maybe.
heart back?
But why would the earth be dead and black? Like
She's
Te-Fiti
dying.
turned into
She's like dying without her heart.
she's dying.
So she's mad,
That's
so she
sad.
wants it back. Maybe, or is she just like, is this
Like
like a
crazy.
split personality
Yeah,
thing?
it
Like
could
she
be
doesn't
that.
know.
She's
what's
just
going
wild
on.
and in pain, dead inside. No, I don't. That's an interesting thing, perspective that maybe she's trying to get the heart, but they don't know that. I don't know. Rewrite it.
Yeah, we should rewrite it. As long as we're rewriting it, can we rewrite Maui to just fly 10 feet higher in the air.
Yes.
his initial plan to get the heart back was just like, I'll fly directly at eye level with Taka and just hope for the best.
Doesn't work.
Or actually, fish. Also, that's even better. She can't even go in the water. Be a fish.
Right.
Hold it in your mouth.
And then go.
Swim to the inner island.
I think he was acting on impulse, maybe.
I think, there's really one prudent. Of the eagle plan. Eagle flying at 50 feet in the air.
Right.
About the worst.
Distraction.
The worst possible plan.
Because she can see you, too. It's not even like you're flying at heart level. And then, like, maybe there's some confusion, but it could be a camouflaged animal, too. A chameleon. I don't know.
Any other animal.
Digression, yeah.
Not a bird flying.
A fly, even. That's, like, small.
Yeah.
Very fast.
Well, I guess you still have to carry that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it would literally be bigger than your body. Funny.
That is true. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Because I guess you're right. And when I think of her character, I think more of like the bravery, fortitude side of it. You don't really think about her flaws.
No.
She should have died.
I mean, she is like, what, 12, right? No.
Yeah.
I don't know, 15.
Yeah. That is...
Prudence is a good virtue, though.
It is bold. Not even to just, like, practice sailing. Just, like, go out.
I'm just going to go.
Beyond... What was that?
I'm going to go. Beyond the reef.
Beyond the reef, yeah.
No one goes beyond the reef.
No one goes beyond the reef. And no one leaves.
Away, away. I don't know the actual language or the words, but you sail a course to find a brand new island.
We're doing the semi-racist thing people always do with like the Lion King, which is like, I don't know the words.
Oh, yeah.
I have no respect for the actual language.
Actually, I did look up the language. It's not Swahili. It's another African dialect. But it's basically it's really weird. It's like basically saying, there's the lion. The lion is here. Like, it's like very just bland.
Very literal.
The jaguar is coming or something like very strange like that. Also, I just got your text that said just got back at 2:22.
What? You just got it?
Yeah. That's the hope too, right? Is that whatever is incomplete, God will love us and want us to be with him and will help us get there.
That is the hope.
So she'll come to know right away when she sees.
It does open a lot of weird and interesting questions.
It does. Like, why should I be Catholic then? Why does it matter? Why does what I'm doing matter?
That wasn't even the one.
No, that's what I was thinking. What was the one you were thinking?
Mine was weird. I don't want to say it now.
I want you to say it.
So if I ask these questions like one at a time, it's not going to sound weird, but it's going to lead to a weird place.
Okay,
ready?
Go ahead.
You have to don't think about where I'm going. Just answer the questions. So if a baby dies and ends up in heaven, is when you get there, is it still going to be a baby? Is it going to be a baby for all of eternity?
Is it going to grow?
Be matured?
That's cool.
Well, answer it. What do you think? There aren't any answers, but what do you think? What would your opinion be?
There's no real concept of time, though. So you can't age.
Oh,
I feel like you just remain the snapshot of what you are.
Why?
Actually,
where are you getting that there's no concept of time?
Right? Isn't time like I
don't know.
Human construction? God is out of time. He's eternal. Right?
God is eternal.
Should we continue to talk about this?
Why not?
Next topic.
Next topic.
Yeah, he's out of time. Like we are. Thank you for listening. No, I'm just kidding.
I have to go. Well, God is eternal, so no beginning or end.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that time isn't real. So what is time?
Yeah.
Wrong.
No, I'm thinking, that's the question.
So time is... time is, if you want to think of it as like
passing
a dimension, is that I can't... The reason for time is that if time didn't exist, everything would happen all at the same time.
Yeah.
So the reason for time is that we can talk about one thing and then another thing and then keep going. And then eventually, like, you leave and drive home. Like, that can't happen unless there's a passing of time. So you can go from one thing to another thing. Mm-hmm. If time doesn't exist, we are frozen in just a state, right? Mm-hmm. So everything that we know about well, so there's a lot of so references to heaven in the Bible talk about people, well, doing things in heaven. To do something, you need time to pass, because you can't do something if you're frozen.
Yeah.
Also, being frozen sounds terrible.
It doesn't.
And we're bodied creatures. Like our whole concept of existence is inside of a body that's trapped in time.
And right.
So
grows and develops.
It would be weird and possibly even, I might say, cruel to take a being whose whole identity is formed around a body and around time and move it into a situation where there is no time and no body. Which that's another thing that I don't understand. People always say, like, we bury the body and the soul goes to heaven, which is nice, but we also believe that we will have bodies in heaven, which is
the perfected state, right?
It'll be a perfect body.
Yeah, so for that baby, what is the perfect state?
Right. Yeah. But to wrap up the time thing, though, I hear this all the time that, like, in heaven, it'll just be your soul and there won't be time. And I don't understand where those came from. They're not scriptural, and they're not doctrinal
really
either.
Doctrine,
like
right?
the church doesn't teach it and the Bible doesn't teach it. So I'm not sure where those came from. I think it's just the idea that God is outside of time. So we say, well, there must not be time in heaven. And then when we buried people, it's easy to explain to children that, well, their body's here, but their soul is in heaven. So I think it just comes from laziness. It's like, it's easier to say there's no time and that there's no bodies than to say, well, logically and scripturally, there will be time and bodies. But then once we say that, we have to answer a lot of other questions that we don't want to answer and can't answer.
And you can't, because there's no...
So it's just easier to be like, I don't know. Who knows? It's a soul and clouds and no time.
Clouds. Definitely clouds. They're there.
Well, if somebody's like really old and frail and they go to heaven, will they be old and frail in heaven? To go to the other
prime. But then, like, what's your prime? What's your perfect?
So
I'm probably not prime right now, you know?
Probably not.
I'm not that in shape. I'm working on it.
I think the weird place that we end up is that, so a baby dies. It doesn't stay a baby. I think we have to say no, because a baby doesn't have the cognitive development to understand who Jesus is. And that's part of the purgation, right? Yeah. Same as Moana. You have to be able to see you are Jesus, and I like that you are Jesus.
And I want to.
You have to be a certain age to be able to do that.
Yeah.
The same as if you have somebody who's older and maybe losing their grip a little bit mentally, that needs to be fixed. But beyond that, like, if they're old and frail and in a wheelchair, why not fix that too?
Yeah.
And we end up getting to a point where, is everyone just going to be the same age? And if so, does that mean you're going to see, like, your grandparents and your great grandparents and they're all going to be the same age as you, and, like, your kids and your grandkids are all going to be the same age as you?
Oh,
because that seems odd.
Yeah,
right?
It does.
It seems weird.
Okay, so in the movie Coco, it's the Day of the Dead, and as they died, that's, like, the age that they remain.
Okay.
So it's kind of weird, like, the last scene.
Vampire rules.
The main one of the main characters, his daughter dies, but she's like 100, and he had died at, I don't know, 30, 40 maybe.
Okay.
But then his, like, great-great-granddaughter is like 108 or something crazy. But then they're in, I don't think they even call it heaven, but they're in the afterlife, and he's like 40 and she's like 108. It's like weird. But that's...
Yeah.
It'd be weird, because she's, like, super old and frail, but still short. So it kind of looks, and it flashes to the last time he, like, held her hand. It's his daughter. Sorry, not his great-great-granddaughter. And it goes from that picture to the picture of them being 40 and 108 or whatever. It's very weird. It would be weird.
That's weird. I've also heard, this is another thing that people say a lot, because I think it's like lazy or easy to understand, is people will say, like, either A, heaven is just whatever you want it to be, and then B, like,
perfect happiness.
The perfect age thing. Like, I'll just be my perfect age.
Yeah, supreme happiness.
But then
so
there's problems with that, because your ideal heaven might not be my ideal heaven, right? So
how can it be both?
So it's either one of us is having an illusion, like we're living
you're wrong,
a false reality, or somebody's not happy, which is weird. And then the age thing too is the same thing with the age. Yeah, the Coco thing, like, that's just odd.
That's weird.
Or maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
But there's not like 17 different heavens. So like my heaven and your heaven would have to be similar or the same.
Yeah, Harriet Beecher Stowe said there's two kinds of theologians. She called them the winged creatures and the legged creatures. Oh. The legged creatures are grounded in like logic, but the downside of being grounded in logic is that sometimes you get like lost in the like weeds or the forest on the ground, and then you have the winged creatures who soar above the mechanics of logic, and they're just like they can see so clearly where they're going. But then the downside to being a winged creature is that you aren't grounded, you just sort of like imagine random stuff. So the winged creatures end up coming up with superstitions. So what's like the idea? You bury a St. Joseph upside down in the backyard, then they'll help you sell your house. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The silly
or like salt keeps the devil away, like weird stuff like that. That's total winged creature stuff because it doesn't make sense, but it's just like, oh, it's flighty.
Why not?
Why not?
Do it.
And then
so the ideal is a winged.
Well, the ideal is neither.
Person.
I mean, the ideal is that I mean, I don't think there's an ideal. I think her point was that they keep each other in check. Like the winged creature shows the legged creature the way to go. Like, don't forget we're headed this way.
But then the legged creature keeps them grounded.
It keeps them grounded. Like, don't forget, like, don't fly too high. Like, you're just making stuff up now. So I'm definitely, in theology, I'm definitely a legged creature. Because now I'm like, you see what I'm saying? Like, the math doesn't check out. Right. But then every once in a while I have to go like, okay, well, the math doesn't need to check out. Like, it doesn't.
That's very valuable, though, as a theology teacher. Yeah. To be grounded like that.
Yeah.
I think.
I definitely don't lose arguments. But.
Is that true, students?
I also think. Yeah. But I don't know. I just.
Side note, what if this was not recording the entire time?
Be sad. I checked it like 7 times while it was going. Just be like, is it recording?
Redo.
Oh no, it's not recording.
All right, start over. 2 hours. So I'm here. My name is Moana. I mean Megan. What's your favorite character?
That's similar to one of the questions. Actually, answer that one first. Who's
my favorite character?
Who's your favorite character? Both from... No, Moana's too small of a movie. Who's your favorite Disney character?
In general? That's so broad.
You don't think Moana's too narrow?
No, it is too narrow.
There's only like 2 characters.
But I thought this podcast was about Moana, so we should like Moana, focus on it.
Well, I don't know. I
like the ocean.
I said we were talking about Disney, so people are...
Okay, Disney. Oh, my favorite Disney character.
Okay, now go.
So my favorite Disney character is Pocahontas. I think she's awesome. Okay. And
why?
I'm getting there. She
hold on.
She is a very strong-willed person who knows what is right and just and is willing to fight for it, even going against her family, which is super hard because her dad, Kokoa, knows what's best, but doesn't see the whole picture. So she enables them to see outside of what they're used to, outside of their bubbles, and to see what is just. And not only leads her family in that direction, but also John Smith. And that's really hard to do. And that was like one of the first times I think that Disney started to move forward.
Wait, what did she do with John Smith?
So John Smith comes over with Governor Radcliffe and they're trying to conquer the land. And he wants to conquer the land in the sense of owning it, not necessarily like exploiting it for gold and profit, but he wants to own the land and conquer it and to use it for his purposes only. And like the song Colors of the Wind, she's talking about, you think you know these things, but there's so much more, and there's so much more besides our differences. How
hard was it to say that without singing it?
I wanted to sing it so bad. You think you own whatever land you land on.
You did it again.
The earth is just a dead thing you can claim.
I've seen
it. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit. So she sees beneath the surface of things, and she sees things for their value. People, not just here's a white man that's trying to control the earth and the world. She sees him for who he is.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Beneath the surface. So she's virtuous. Anyway, next question.
What do you think mine is?
Your favorite?
I think did I already tell you?
You probably have a soft spot for Up. Is that Disney?
Up?
Yeah.
No.
It's Pixar.
Yeah, it's Disney.
Kind of, yeah.
Disney is Pixar.
It's the same thing. Incredibles 2 is really good, though, by the way.
Was it?
It was. Your favorite?
Was it better than the first one?
No, but it was equally good.
Oh.
So sometimes sequels really stink.
Yeah.
It was like at that level. Okay, your favorite Disney movie? Probably like Oliver and Company or something. Like one of the random ones.
Oliver and Company. That's true. Oh,
I used to really like The Little Mermaid, and then I realized what it was really about.
Wait, which one? Oliver
this woman
Company,
decides to give up her voice, like her entire being for this man. Okay, Oliver and Company was the.
Oh wait, what?
I don't even remember it. What?
I wasn't listening to you because I was thinking about Oliver and Company. Were you talking about Little Mermaid?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I used to really love it until I figured out what it was about.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
There's only so much you can do with the source material, though, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you're working with... Oh, my goodness.
What?
Speaking of source material...
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, you're working with Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid. There's only so much you can do with that story.
Ended really bad.
Very badly. She kills herself. Because Ursula wins. Like, she marries the prince, and then Little Mermaid's just like, I gave up my whole identity to be with this man, and now I can't have him, so my life is
futile,
over.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm defining my worth by someone else.
That's my favorite story. Not the Disney one, the original.
The original Hans Christian Andersen. That's awesome. Okay, what were you going to say? You just had like an enlightenment.
The Frozen is based on a Hans Christian Andersen book.
Oh,
Did
yeah,
you know?
that is too. I don't know which one.
It's called The Snow Queen.
Okay.
It's weird.
Yeah.
And I'm only halfway through it.
Okay.
But it's a series of short stories, and it's really interesting. The first story actually has nothing to do with the kids, but it was this idea that there's this demon that it creates a mirror that reflects the worst in people.
Oh.
And it carries the mirror around, like showing people their reflection, and it reflects only their worst qualities.
Whoa.
Yeah, isn't that cool? It's like a very cool idea that I feel like could have been left in the movie, and then he ends up like getting a bunch of other demons together, and they want to fly the mirror up to heaven to show it to God. And on the way up, they lose the grip and they drop the mirror, and it shatters, and then pieces of the mirror fly all over the world, and some of the pieces of the mirror get caught in people's eyes, and that's why some people only see the negative. Some people can only see the worst in people.
Oh, Hans, isn't that great? Good for you.
Yeah,
that's
and
cool.
Then
wow.
And then one of the pieces hits this kid in the heart, and then it's like he is going to turn to ice. Well, no, it's what happens to Anna, where she gets struck in the heart,
like
and then
she's color in her hair. That's kind of
like the
like
part.
A trend
so
right now.
They took the mirror away, and they just had her get hit with ice, which doesn't actually make sense.
No, it doesn't
either. I guess the mirror doesn't make sense either. But I thought the mirror idea. I just thought that was really
cool.
Yeah, it was just like a beautiful,
talented,
just piece of narrative.
Yeah,
like
I want to read
it's not a story yet.
Is it in German or something? Probably.
Well, no. I mean, you can buy it in it. It probably was
Hans.
Hans.
German name.
Yeah, okay. Well.
Okay.
Fine.
All right. I'll buy it and I'll read it. It's called The Ice Queen.
The Snow Queen. Yeah. I haven't finished it.
Okay.
But there is, it's like weird. It doesn't parallel the story, but there's like weird snippets that's like, oh, that's exactly from Frozen. Like at one point, the girl gets kidnapped by a witch, and the book goes to great lengths to say this witch isn't evil. She's just lonely and just wants a kid. So she just kidnapped one, obviously, because that's what you do when you're lonely.
That's kind of like Rapunzel, isn't it? Like the original Rapunzel is about that?
It is a lot like Rapunzel.
Yeah. Is it the same? Who wrote Rapunzel?
I don't know.
Because the original one, the witch was literally, she was lonely. She wanted, she gave them the gift of having a baby, and then was like, but in return, I have to have your baby. It's like, you didn't help me.
Yeah.
I only experienced the worst parts of a child. Childbirth. Okay. Yeah, right? But isn't that what it was? And then she was like, this baby's mine, and I don't want to get her to get hurt, so I'm going to keep her in a tower.
Rapunzel had a happy ending, but it does have a really dark, like,
I'm going to keep you
conflict,
in this tower.
like rising action part where the witch, I think, blinds the prince, right?
The guy.
She cuts his eyes out, and then he like wanders around in the desert for like 20 years or something before he ends up finding Rapunzel later. But they do end up together, but it's like at the end of, I think it's like she has had her hair cut off and he's blind, and like they just end up finding each other later on. So there's like a romantic happy ending, but it's
dark.
Well, most of them are. There is one. All right, this is too much about fairy tales, probably, right?
Next
question. One wants to hear about this. what Disney character are you really? Not your favorite character. So this is, I think, like, who...
It's an identity question.
Yes, it is an identity question.
You have to answer this too, though. Or should we answer for each other?
Oh, so I pick one for you?
That'd be kind of fun.
That's the kind of fun that you can only have when you're listening to the episode.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be one of us.
Okay, do that.
Yeah, all right, fine.
You are a deep thinker, and you are kind of standoffish on purpose. You put at walls, but you have a heart of gold on the inside. That is you.
How dare you?
Dare
the second
I?
part.
You are a little
Heart
standoffish.
No, that part's fine.
The heart of gold. That was the third part. Okay, maybe not gold. Heart of Tafiti.
Heart of bronze.
What's a lesser
away
metal?
From the gold. It's like a semi-precious metal.
Heart of bronze. That's perfect.
It's like, it's not worth nothing.
Yeah, but you really care about people. And you go to great lengths to care about them, but you don't like people. We're going to cut this all out. You don't like people knowing that. Like, why would we be doing this podcast and drinking mocktails in theme if you didn't actually care?
That is true.
You're also kind of quirky. Who is this person? Pumbaa. I'm just kidding.
Pumbaa. Nailed it.
I'm just kidding.
I was a young warthog.
Oh, funny. I don't know. This is hard. I don't know. Okay, who am I? Amy.
Can I pick the character at a specific point in the movie?
Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to have you... So you're Mulan, but
Mulan.
for the first half of the movie.
What?
No, after the... So...
Not the fighter?
No. No, okay, well, so in a way, I guess you say Mulan was like...
the clumsy one in the beginning who messes up the matchmaking?
Exactly. No. After the matchmaking
disregards
scene.
family values.
So skip the first eighth.
Okay.
The whole matchmaker nonsense. That's nothing anyway. Also, I mean, Mulan is always Mulan.
Yeah.
She's never not a fighter.
Right.
So it's like you have this like grit and determination of that is Mulan, but then also it's like when she first gets to the camp and she's just sort of like I feel like there's things that happen that are awkward, but then she is sort of like her sense of humor. She sort of like maintains a sense of humor through it, where it's just sort of like makes it deliberately awkward. That's you.
I do that.
It's like if something awkward happens, you're just like,
I perpetuate it.
Like, let's just make this even worse. Like, we'll just keep it going until it's funny.
Okay.
It stops being awkward and then it just starts being funny.
Okay.
I feel Mulan doesn't do it as well as you do, but I feel like there's a little bit of that.
Okay.
That's why I was going to pick Buzz Lightyear for myself. So.
Oh my gosh. To Infinity and Beyond. Is that Disney? I guess that's Disney.
Of course, it's all Pixar is Disney. The only thing that's not Disney that masquerades as Disney. All right, I'm going to say three things: Swan Princess, Anastasia, and
oh my gosh, love Anastasia. That's
not Disney. We can't talk about it.
No, next podcast.
And DreamWorks. All DreamWorks movies are sometimes appear to be.
Yeah, they do. No.
I mean, it sounds like
I want to say Rafiki.
Rafiki?
Yeah, because you're like...
He lives in you.
I know, but you're kind of quirky a little.
Oh.
Not like to the extent... I know. Bad. He just tasted the heart of Tafiti again.
I'm drinking the heart of Tafiti.
By choice. You didn't even...
It's a mistake.
Think you decided to. It was full on will.
It was a decision.
It was you. Yeah. Okay. Rafiki.
All right, I'll take
he's
Rafiki.
Like a little quirky, but like very wise and strong in a sense that he helps Simba see the path again.
I'll take Rafiki. He was the smartest character in the movie.
Yeah.
He was just pretending to be dumb.
Yeah.
Right? Or was he actually dumb?
No, I think he was pretending. I'd have to watch it again.
He had a weird vibe.
Time.
I feel like he was at one point in time, he was like not a goofball. Like under Mufasa, he was like the advisor.
He was like the elder.
To the, and then after Scar took over, he like just either actually became a crazy old hermit or just pretended to.
Maybe that's where you're headed.
Yeah.
Crazy old hermit.
Good, actually.
Okay.
One of my life aspirations is to be...
Is Rafiki? I want to be Grandmother Willow. I'm just kidding.
You would be in one place always.
Grandma Tala.
It's actually, I would do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
Willow,
for you.
I could do Grandmother Willow.
Yeah.
Grandmother Willow or Rafiki? Which one?
Strike it. You are Grandmother Willow. No, you're Rafiki, I think.
Okay. Oh, Rafiki.
I don't know, but
decent.
You don't really see... Yeah, like you said, you don't see like his full character. So there's more depth to you than just a baboon.
A baboon.
Isn't he a baboon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could live in the universe of any Disney movie, what would it be?
Oh, fun.
I assume that we'd keep all the rules of magic. And
Yeah.
So does this mean if you live in...
That's a cool question.
If you live in... That's an alright question.
No, but it's like different. This person's imaginative.
They're an N.
Oh, an N.
Yeah.
I'm an N.
I'm an N too.
Oh, yeah. Like Under the Sea with Ariel.
You didn't think that I was. You said I like rules too much.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You kind of do like structure. I don't know, I do too. Okay, like Under the Sea with Ariel and Triton.
Are you not allowed to appreciate structure if you're an N?
No, I think you can. It's just a different way.
So if you're in Little Mermaid, if you pick Little Mermaid,
yeah.
Are you a mermaid? If you pick Lion King, do I just become like a person standing in the savannah? Because I don't want to pick that. Or do I get to the end?
That
do I
like
get to be Rafiki?
Or like I'm under the sea.
I wish I was in the Lion King, and then you're like, when you're surrounded by lions.
If I'm under.
Exactly. This is like one of those traps.
Or like I'm in the middle of winter in Frozen.
Yeah, you pick Frozen, and then you're instantly frozen
Battle
to death.
in Mulan. I want to be in the Hong Dynasty.
There's a lot of these movies are dangerous to be in.
Very dangerous. Merida, she's like living with a bear. That one's kind of a curveball. That movie, Brave.
I like Brave.
I have to see it again. I don't really remember.
What did you say about it?
Which? Her mom's a bear.
Yeah.
That would be a hazard.
Yeah. That is on her, though.
As well. That's true.
Merida.
She's
talking about lacking prudence.
She's crazy.
She needs to get it together. Although, can I say, and this is going to be slightly like discriminatory, so we'll just go with it. I know two people who in real life look like Merida
and act like her. Oh, that's funny.
Like, it's something about that, like the
maybe like
big
the frizzy,
bushy red hair, where it's just like they're like I could see them accidentally turning their mom into a bear.
Oh my gosh, it's funny. Okay,
it's like,
where would I want to live? Wait, also, okay. Am I an ape if I'm in Tarzan, or am I like Jane?
Let's say, okay, I guess we
also,
just
I think I'm like Jane.
I think we need more rules.
We do. Can you respond, please, and tell us, are you the characters in the story, or are you just dropped into it? Because that would pose a problem.
I think you
can breathe underwater.
Okay, here's what I think we should do. So you have to live by the rules of that universe, but you change to fit. You change to fit the universe, but maybe you don't have control over what that is.
Okay.
So I can't just decide that I'm a dragon.
Okay.
So if you pick Under the Sea, like you'll probably be a mermaid, but you might also be one of those little seaweed slaves that Ursula has. It's a chance.
So you can't choose, just whatever.
No, you just end up.
I would be Moana then. Seems like the best of both worlds. You could be on the water. I love the water. Or you could be in a village.
On the water.
In the mountains. Literally
you're
on the water.
You're on a tiny island, or you're on a boat.
Perpetually. Until you find another island.
Or an active volcano. There's only 3 locations for that movie.
Yeah, no, I think I like that. I think I like the sea life. Or the village life.
You really are into Moana. Favorite movie? That's where you would live? Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a problem? I like it.
It's okay.
But, okay, I mean, you could pick, like, Beauty and the Beast, but then that's just, like, a casual village.
See, that's what I was thinking. Like, Beauty and the Beast actually might...
It's normal, you know?
Yeah, like...
Or what's the other?
It would
Cinderella?
just be a small... Like, no, I wouldn't pick
French.
Cinderella. No, Cinderella's the worst.
Yeah, I don't like Cinderella.
Ugh. What a horrible society.
Rodgers and Hammersteins. Rodgers and Hammerstein? Is that who did it?
I don't know who those people are.
I think the writer.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, Beauty and the Beast seems like the most normal. Or I've never seen it. Princess and the Frog, Tatiana or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She's just in New Orleans. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm not a fan of New Orleans.
Never been there.
I cannot handle mosquitoes or mugginess.
So that's like humidity.
It's a big
never
turn off to me.
Not that.
I like the food that I had when I was there. I mean, I guess that's a cliche to say you like New Orleans food. It's like, of course you like their food, but
I wouldn't like to be in the social condition of Mulan.
Or patriarchal nonsense. Yeah. Well, also they're at war with the Mongols.
Right. That's kind of problematic.
The Huns.
This is kind of a weird question, though. The Huns. What other Disney movie?
Yeah, it's Beauty and the Beast is the answer.
Yeah,
that's my
village,
answer because
right?
it's a small town. Yeah. Worst case scenario, you end up being the Beast.
What if you're
or the furniture?
Furniture.
Oh, I didn't think it through.
What if you're a footstool?
There's a decent chance you end up as a.
What if you're a footstool forever?
I heard there was this really funny.
Oh, this is a great question.
Like conspiracy theory about Beauty and the Beast, which is that if you imagine the political structure of that movie, like they had a king who then one day just disappears. Like the whole castle gets barred up and he's just gone. So you have no government.
No government. No ruling
for the
body.
last how long, like at least decade, these people have been living. They must have developed a new sort of like structure of government, right? Like they may be elected a mayor, but they have their own thing going on.
But then all of a sudden he's back.
And then all of a sudden like the king's back and like the gates are open and he's just like, I'm your king again.
And they're like, no, you're not. It's been like 50 years. Democracy.
Exactly. There's this really funny like sequel to Beauty and the Beast where they're just like, we don't want to live in a monarchy anymore.
You can. That's funny. I like that. Peter Pan would be weird. I'm just like reading through a list of them.
Oh, Peter Pan's not that
Jungle
bad.
Book is just
That's
animals.
Just the jungle.
Animals.
Yeah, you would just be an animal probably.
Sleeping Beauty was a weird one as well.
Yeah. Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella. I feel like all of those took place in the same universe.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like they all easily could have been the same.
101 Dalmatians is kind of casual. That's like normal.
Yes. Yeah.
Just be a dog. I feel like a lot of people would want to be a dog.
I am in 101 Dalmatians.
Pirates of the Caribbean. I forgot that was Disney.
No, that doesn't count. We can't start branching into that. Disney makes
a lot of random ones.
Because then we can they own Marvel and Star Wars. You're definitely not allowed to.
Yeah, no.
I think when people say Disney movie, they also make horror movies. Did you know that?
No. What?
Disney owns, I think it's Rogue Pictures that makes horror movies. But they don't call them, they don't put the Disney label on it. But like Disney, the company, owns smaller companies that make horror movies.
That's a weird thing.
They just Disney is just trying to monopolize all of entertainment.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which, I mean, good for them.
Aladdin would be interesting because are you royalty or are you that's like the case system, right? The caste system.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get so uncomfortable when you ask questions like that. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. It's probably like India or somewhere.
I think it is. Hercules would be like worshipping false gods, so that's cool.
Well, not if you were in it. Then they would just
That's true, then it wouldn't matter. Greece would be cool. I like Greece. They have good food. Again, with the food.
Are you talking about Hercules?
Hercules, yeah. That's Greece.
Do they have good food at that time?
No, probably grapes. Grapes and pita.
Actually, I don't know.
Actually, Tangled is kind of cool too, because that's like little villages in the midst of a forest. I don't know.
You know what? Actually,
we could go on forever with this.
Frozen may be better.
Frozen, but then it's perpetually winter.
No,
until
but you don't necessarily live in Arendelle.
That's true.
Like you
could live in any of those.
The universe is just like
Weaselton,
like nice, like little city states, kingdoms.
Yeah,
that all sort of just cooperate and trade with each other, and then like 1 in 100 people is just born with powers.
Yeah.
Or cursed, apparently. Born with the powers or cursed. So there's like a 1 in 100 chance you're a superhero.
Or you're normal.
Or you're just a normal person who has like a cool job in like a nice little
Yeah. That is cool.
You live in like a cottage or whatever. My goal is just to be like
normal.
Yeah, just like I want to be like 70 years old, sitting on the front porch of a cottage, yelling at kids to like.
You can probably do that here.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do.
You should be the grandpa on Up.
Oh my goodness!
At the beginning of the film,
if I could pick the character, I would be.
You would be him.
Yeah, I would.
What's his name?
I don't remember.
Charles or something.
Mr. Oh my goodness.
Carl Fredrickson.
Mr. Fredrickson.
Mr. Fredrickson. Russell. Oh my gosh.
Carl is a good name too. I would be named Carl. I would be 70 years old.
There's only.
And I would
There's like this many characters that are known, and then these are all like construction worker Steve, nurse AJ, nurse George.
The whole movie takes place in like Fantasia.
Kevin.
Or whatever. Kevin the bird.
The bird.
What a great movie.
I know. I need to watch that again now.
Did I talk about Up and how hard that must have been to pitch?
No.
This movie. Imagine that you're the writer who wrote that story.
Okay.
And you're like, you have this vision of, I mean, it's a great movie. So you have this vision that it's going to be a great movie. But like right now, pretend that I'm a producer at Disney. Pitch me this story.
So, all right, picture this. There's this old couple, right?
Okay.
And they really love each other. And they want to go on all these adventures, but then life gets in the way. So she dies.
Okay. And then what happens?
And then they tie some balloons on the house.
Sure. Because he's going away. So it's like a going away party, balloons?
Because they're trying to... This is such a weird storyline. Isn't he worried that the house is going to get bulldozed over because they're developing?
Sure.
So he wants to save the house. So he puts balloons on it, and then they float away to Niagara Falls.
No, sorry. Rewind to the part where the balloons...
He's trying to get away. All right. So the most cost-efficient way is to buy a bunch of balloons to fill them up with helium. And then to float away to Niagara Falls, basically. And then they end up in this rainforest. Maybe it's Angel Falls. That's in South America.
Yeah.
There's a dog.
A dog? Oh, okay.
There's a dog.
Okay, so like a regular dog that can't talk, right?
Yes. And then Kevin.
Kevin, okay. So he's like a neighbor or
a bird.
Oh, no, he's a bird. Okay, I see. Interesting.
I love this film. I haven't seen it forever,
not making this movie.
No. I don't think we're going to put money towards this.
I just have to think like they must get pitches for movies all the time. It's Disney.
But how do they choose which ones are valid, which ones aren't?
That's what I'm saying. And how did Up get chosen?
Yeah.
I think we're done.
Sweet. Did we answer all the questions?
Have notifications from you.
From me? What did I do?
You recently updated your Instagram.
No, I didn't.
Fine.
I didn't. Okay.
I mean, I'll take your word over my phone's. I'm just saying.
Here.
Well, it was a list of people.
Oh. How should we end this? How should we end this?
Like this.
Sing?
I have a script for the end.
Oh,
should we sing?
What's your favorite?
Ukulele.
What's your favorite Moana song?
I'd rather not.
Sailing away, away, you're welcome.
That's a good one. The Shining. That's what. I'd rather be shining.
Like a.
I do like. Do you know? Are you familiar with Flight of the Conchords?
Yeah.
Did you know that was the guy who does the voice for?
No.
You didn't recognize it?
Yeah. I can see that.
As soon as he opened his mouth, I was like, that's the guy from Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah.
It's so obvious. He's from New Zealand, too, which I think is
that's cool.
That concludes our show for today. Megan, thank you for joining us. Do you... Oh, it's in the script. Do you have any final comments? Be Moana. Don't be Hey Hey. Actually, don't be Moana either.
Don't be Moana. Be her...
Have the fortitude of Moana with the prudence of... I
don't know any character with prudence. Know your self-worth and know
the prudence of her dad.
There
her dad is only prudent.
He is only prudent.
That's
You're right.
his only good quality.
Maybe the whole family is.
Oh my goodness.
That's cool.
Her dad is only prudent and has no fortitude.
Is her whole family the cardinal virtues?
Oh
Hold
my
on.
goodness.
What is her mom then? And her grandma? Cool.
Her grandma's just crazy. Is craziness one of the...
She's not temperate, I don't think.
No,
is a mom
there's no way.
No, none of them are temperate. Shoot, I thought we were on to something.
Oh, yeah,
cool.
It was close.
Okay, well...
Now that we're done, we keep talking. how long had that family been on that island?
Okay, so if you remember when she goes to that cave and she hits the drum and the guy starts singing about the last one in that song that they send out was the dad.
Oh.
So he was the last... Yeah, you gotta go back and watch it. He was the last person to go discover an island.
So he had left. So the dad had actually been on those boats.
Yeah.
So
super cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
And I do need to rewatch that.
So he's the last one. And then...
So I didn't even know that, but I had a theory that they hadn't been there that long, which is now confirmed. So now here's my next question. The mountain where the chiefs leave their stones is like ancient, like hundreds of years old, right? I mean, if you assume each stone is a generation.
Yeah. So were other people there before them?
Yeah, so what's the deal with the island? Because if they were...
So maybe other people were there before him, and these people are just wanderers. Like, they just move around from place to place.
Like, kept going with this tradition? Or are these, like, voyagers, was that, like, their home base? And they
came back to it,
They would come back occasionally to, like, do, like, their chief ritual stuff, and then go back out and look for more islands?
Because you're right, it is super old. All those rocks piled up.
Yeah. And then in the end,
It could be the home base, because they keep all the... They kept all the boats in that. Which then,
this is my legged creature brain working, like calculating the math. Because then, so if we say they haven't been there very long, which means those stones being ancient means they keep coming back to this island. Then we go, okay, at the end of the movie, she leaves a seashell on the top. How's somebody going to bounce on top of that seashell?
I always think of that. I'm like, you are selfish.
Yeah.
Nobody, just because you like the sea doesn't mean... Does that mean... And, like, they're not going to come back to the island, though?
No, but
nobody can balance.
Initially, I thought it was symbolic of, like, this is the last chief who was on this island. We're now leaving. We're never coming back. But... If we like rewind and say they haven't been there that long, which means they have been using this island as at least a home base to catalog chiefs, then
no more.
It stands to reason the next chief after her would
got
need
rid of it.
a rock. But no, sorry. Start your own pile.
Not prudent. She's not prudent.
She's not prudent.
You did not think that through. You were like, I like seashells. I like the sea. I'm going to put this on top. Moana, what the heck?
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to Frog Questions wherever you get your podcasts so that you never miss an episode. For more information or to ask a question of your own, please visit frogquestions.com.